Guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford in super sunny Clearwater, Florida, and we have something sort of new for 2023. What is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2023 updated, changed up, refreshed Ford Escape. But before we get into what's now being called the active trim of this compact crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Ford, they're going through their lineup and making some changes. One of the biggest changes is that they got rid of their smallest SUV known as the EcoSport. That was a subcompact crossover SUV, has been eliminated from their lineup. Now for 2023, they weren't ready to make a full redesign. So what they did is they brought some changes to kind of up the ante for the Ford Escape. The Escape has been around since 2001, and in this compact crossover SUV segment, there's a lot of tough competition. You have the Toyota RAV4, the Honda CR-V, and of course we can't forget the Mazda CX-5, and that's just a few of them. Now on top of the Ford Escape, sitting on the same chassis is the Bronco Sport, which is actually right over my left shoulder. But what I want to find out is, has Ford made the right changes to the Escape for 2023 to make it the best one to buy over, say, a Toyota RAV4 or a Mazda CX-5? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the changes start at the front end of the business. You're gonna get new front grille, new front fascia. Now what you're gonna find on this base active trim, so you're gonna have three trims, active, ST line, and platinum. On your active trim, you're getting full LED lighting, headlights, daytime running lamps, and turn signals. Now one of the big zonks that I'm gonna have to give is this guy right here. It almost reminds me of like an electric shaver or something, like I wanna kind of unplug it and shave my face and then plug it back in. It would have been great if they made this a functional corner air curtain, or for Pete's sake, put some LED fog lamps in here. Let me know how you feel about this. I think the thing that's bothering me the most, and that gets the biggest part of the zonk, is how it actually bulges out. That's not where we want our bulges. That is somewhere where you could have put a fog lamp. So that's why I'm zonking it. You'll notice on the active trim, a lot of flat black, and I'm okay with that because that's gonna wear well over time. And then as we come across the front grille area, this is all new for 2023. So you'll notice flat black on the grille, fully functional with the blue oval, that Ford badge, been there for decades and decades and decades. On the lower portion, you're gonna have more functionality and a nice sort of like satin silver on the lower lip. But let me know what you think about the new grille. I really think it kind of cleans up the look of the Ford Escape, makes it a little bit more modern. And like I said, they have a sporty ST line and then the top dog, which is the platinum trim. Now, one other thing you'll notice is you get just a little bit of chrome across the front brow of the grille. Just a little sprinkling, nothing too crazy. Now when we get up onto the hood, same exact hood as the previous model year, and this hood still looks great. One of the reasons why is I like the way you have a nice rise on both sides, but then you also have another separate rise as you kind of blend into the A-pillar. Gives it a little bit more definition. If you compare this to, say, a RAV4 is a little bit more flat. The CR-V, same kind of story. CX-5 to me is probably one of the best designs in the compact crossover SUV segment, especially since it's been around since 2016 with only slight modifications. Now, as we come around the bend, we got new wheels and tires for 2023. What do we got? These metallic silver Y-spoke design wheel, simple, clean, nothing too crazy. And like I said, if you go with one of the other two trims, you're gonna get a fancier wheel if you wanna have something a little bit more kind of easy on the eyes, shall we say. Now, 225 on the width, 65 series sidewall, and this is a 17-inch wheel. You could go up to 18-inch, 19-inch, and that will definitely give this a little bit different appearance. But that is a new wheel for 2023 on the active trim. There is flat black around the fender opening. I'm not gonna zonk it because this is the base trim. But Hopefully on the other trims, especially the Platinum, this should be body colored, but we'll have to wait and see. And of course, we're gonna bring all the trims to you from Walker Ford, so stay tuned for that. Going down the side, flat black on your mirror cap, and then there's a little bit more of that bright, shiny metalwork only on the top. It ties it nicely in with the grille, just a little bit on the top, color matched on the door handles, and then you are gonna get the same flat black on the bottom portion of the door panels. Now, what I like about what they did here is they gave it a little bit of a texturized design to it, just so it's not so simple and just kind of flat. But working towards the rear, you got a good sized quarter window. All of that is gonna be the same as the previous model year. And then as we swing it around the back, here's some more changes. You do have a nice sporty roof spoiler, extends out, and they have the third brake light kind of blended in really clean. You do have a wiper. We're not gonna zonk it because pretty much all of them, except the Hyundai Tucson, has an exposed wiper. It would be nice if it was tucked in, but like I said, comparing it to a RAV4, comparing it to a CX-5, they have exposed wipers. But look, we have all new taillights, LED. Think about it. The competition is still bringing. You look at the CR-V, you look at the RAV4, they're still bringing old-fashioned light bulbs. Here we have full LED. Very smart the way they kind of blend in the DOT required reflector in that nice extended area. And I think another thing that I really am digging is the new Escape trim, how it says in separate letters, spells out Escape. And then there's our Active. Remember, Active is entry level, then ST line, then Platinum. And as we go all the way down, what's great is you get a little bit more of that satin silver, just like on the front lip, and you're getting one functional exhaust on each side, nice stainless steel tip. Nothing too crazy, but it is nice to have those little touches. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what the heck is powering this Active Escape. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod, but all the competition, all of them have a prop rod, so we're gonna let that be. Underneath the hood is the base engine. What are we working with on the Active trim? You're looking at a 1.5 liter turbocharged inline 3. It's front wheel drive, it's 181 horsepower, 190 pound-feet of torque. The best news though, no CVT. So you look at like the CR-V, that's gonna give you a CVT. This has an 8-speed automatic transmission, traditional torque converter automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in 7.6 seconds, top speed 122 miles per hour, and that is governed to 122 miles per hour. The great news is if you want more, you could get more. Step it up to the ST line, you could have a 2-liter inline 4 turbocharged engine that puts out 250 horsepower. MPG's looking good. 26 in the city, 31 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 3,495 pounds. So maybe not everybody's favorite that this has the inline 3, but like I said, you step it up one trim level, that's gonna get you the inline 4 turbocharged engine. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see what it looks like in motion. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Ford Escape Active trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I am looking for a small crossover SUV. My son is 32 and he needs to get out of the house. And he says he won't get out of the house unless I buy him a small compact crossover SUV. So I'm gonna do it. I need to get him out. I'm sick of him. But I'm also not wanting to break the bank. How much is this Active trim of the Escape? Very good question, and I wish you the best of luck getting him out of the house. This one, Active trim, the way that you see it, MSRP $31,850. Let's see how it competes against the big dogs. To the door panel. Clean design, and I'm okay with that. It's simple, it doesn't need to be overly done. Soft touch material everywhere. I do like the way on the armrest you have some white contrast stitching, no gloss black, and then the door pocket is actually very creative. You got a bottle holder there where you could fit a Bigfoot bottle or a Yeti bottle, and you could put 3 empanadas in there down from Ybor City in Tampa. Rest of the door panel, simple, clean, flat black. Going from the door panel to the dash, we have more of that soft material. A little bit of this gray trim, which I wish they would have done some of this on the door panel. I think that would be probably the one zonk, and we know that this isn't like high price material, so it would have been nice just to spruce it up a little bit, but I'm glad that they put it here, and look, no fingerprints. Slide on in, this is all new for 2023. We got a 13.1 inch infotainment system. Gone is the 8 inch. That was previous year, model year. Now you got over a foot. It's like having a Subway foot-long sub right on your dash. It's that horizontal setup, Sync 4, so you have the upgraded from Sync 3 to Sync 4. As you can see, navigation, full touchscreen capability. Love the way you could search for gas stations, ATMs. You know your son is going to want to get into your ATM. He could do that very easily by just hitting ATM, and then it'll actually display for him where all the ATMs are. Back to the home screen. Fairly quickly done. It could be a little quicker getting into the features, the owner's manual, all the drive modes. So you got different drive modes there. Kind of cool how they have that set up. The different graphics. This is what is going to make, I think, the younger crowd be like, ooh, this is so cool. Look at the graphics. And then, of course, I wish they would have a picture of Bon Jovi. If you're going to have slippery when wet mode, you got to have a picture of Bon Jovi there. And then you're back to home. Let me throw it into reverse. There's our backup camera, nice and large. Resolution could be a little clearer, but I'm okay with it. It's not that grainy, which is a good thing. And then you're right back to park. You got large AC vents. Real volume knob, you got your different drive modes, shut off that pesky auto start stop. Nice silver finish on the start stop button to fire this thing up. Down below, you easily could put 8 Twinkies and a Hostess cupcake, USB-C, USB-A, and a 12 volt. Remember kids, don't stick your Twinkie in that hole. 2 cup holders. I like the way they did this, kind of almost looks like a dark stained wood, even though it's plastic, but it looks good. It's texturized. You have the rotary control knob, just like in a GT500, Shelby GT500. You do have the rotary control knob. No, not for your supercharged engine and your Tremec. This is for your 8-speed automatic. Standard 4-key fob. Spin it around. You could open up the back automatically, remotely. You got a place for some Mentos after you've been eating Funyuns before you kiss your date, or your son kisses their date. Soft touch material, I had to make sure. Soft touch material with the stitching. Open it up. You could easily put, I would say, believe it or not, 6 Game Boys. And make sure you got some different games in there. A Tetris, maybe a Metroid, Mega Man, some of the favorites in there. Excite Bike, that's actually one of my personal favorites. Close it up. Now that you know a little bit more about me, how about the seats? You want to know something about that? Cloth material. They did put some stitching, and I do like this new material that they have. It's very grippy. Manual seat control for the passenger, manual seat control for the driver. But as you can see, you got plenty of room here, and if you need more room, you just adjust the seat. Now, what's interesting is that you do have manual for the passenger. It's actually power adjustable, 8-way power adjustable for the driver. And since you're gonna be, or your son's gonna be driving this, tell him to come on over here. I wanna show him the business side behind the wheel of the new Escape. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. There's those power seat controls. Nice to have some power adjustment for the driver's side. Seats are comfy, lots of room. Steering wheel, leather all the way around. I wish they would have made the stitching white like the rest of the stitching, just to give it a cohesive design. A little bit of gloss black, flat black on all the buttons, and then you have an all new 8-inch digital gauge cluster, which actually has a plethora of different displays which you could scroll through, even an eco coach, so that you could save the trees and the leaves while you're driving. But nice to see those changes for 2023. But why don't we go ahead? We still got the back seat. Maybe your son has some friends. I don't know. Maybe he's a recluse and has no friends, but maybe he'll get some friends. We'll see. Let's get into the back seat and see where his friends that he might have might be sitting in this Escape. All right, guys, back seat time. And there's no major changes back here space-wise, but as you can see, I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of space up front, plenty of space in the back. I do like the way they really carve. I mean, look at this. It's like carving out a freaking pumpkin to turn into a jack-o'-lantern to give you some extra leg room. You do have rear AC vents, which some of the competition does not have. 2 USB-Cs. I have my own pocket here where I could easily put, I would say, 2 abacuses. Or is it abaci? These are the things that sometimes people wonder about. Let me know in the comment section, is it abacuses or is it abaci? And if you don't know what an abacus is, use the Google, it will help you. But plenty of room. You do get an armrest, semi-soft. It's like a 2-ply toilet tissue, not 4. Still pretty good. And then you get the same seat material that you did in the front seats in the back. But since we're talking about the back, let's go way back into the cargo area and see how much room there is for a bunch of junk in this Escape. All right, guys, cargo area time. Now, what's surprising is I thought that this would be a manual lift. It's not. Electric assist on the active trim, the base trim. You're gonna be greeted to a ginormous amount of space for a compact crossover SUV. But if you wanna know what the numbers are, here they are. You're looking at 34 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Fold them down, you're gonna have well over 58 cubic feet of space. I like the way they have a little nook here for one of those Yeti bottles. You could fill it up with your favorite Kool-Aid. Open this up, you got a 12 volt. Don't stick your Twinkie in there, it's gonna hurt kids, but that's where you're gonna be able to plug in any kind of power accessory. And then I think the biggest zonk that's back here has nothing to do with the space, because I like the width, I like the height. It has to do with putting these seats down. You can't even do it back here on the back of the seats. You literally gotta come all the way over to each passenger side. The great news is that they are 60/40, but the bad news is you gotta run around the car getting the seats down. But once they're down, almost totally flat, will make that Costco run a little bit easier. Or if you say are traveling on the road and you don't want to spend money on a hotel, get yourself an inflatable mattress. It'll fit back there. May not be the most comfortable, but it'll work. But why don't we go ahead, hit that button, closes down. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's feel the exhilarating power of the inline-3 turbocharged engine in this active Escape. All right, guys, we're leaving Walker Ford. We're in this updated, changed up Ford Escape active trim. I kind of wanted to have the camera angled on me because this is where the big changes are. Looking out the windshield isn't gonna do much, and I don't have a sunroof to give you a nice POV, but really the biggest plus is this massive infotainment system screen. Nicely done, super clear graphics, and well within reach. The whole touchscreen capability. I think the one zonk that I have with the screen is gonna be that to do the AC controls, you gotta go into the system. And if you're driving, that makes you have to take your eyes off of the road to do, and you need to be pinpoint precise to make those changes. So that's something to think about. It is a new system, but you do have to go in. If you want to adjust the AC controls, you do have to do it through the screen. It is nice though that you have dual climate, you got the navigation and the updated Sync 4. Now, behind the steering wheel, we have, of course, that 8-inch digital gauge cluster. That is super clear. It reminds me very much of the gauge cluster that is in the Ford Bronco. So if you've been behind the wheel of a Ford Bronco, then you know what that looks like with that 8-inch screen. Visibility out the front is great. Visibility out the back is fine as well. But I think they do a decent job of putting some nice soft touch material everywhere. And the seats are actually very supportive and comfortable at the same time. I think one of the things that I would like to see in here, like I said, are some physical AC controls. And, you know, when you're comparing it to the CX-5 from Mazda or the RAV4 from Toyota, you're definitely not getting a screen this size. And I know with the Mazda CX-5, the biggest zonk is that it's not a touchscreen. So at least they got you covered there. Some of the other finishes, when it comes to like the headliner being the lighter color and the A-pillars here, it does make me feel a little bit like I'm in a rental car. It's gonna be interesting to see what the platinum trim brings, and of course, the ST line. All right, guys, on throttle. Now, nothing that, it's not gonna rock your socks or anything like that, but it actually is quite peppy for the 3-cylinder turbocharged engine. You know, if you want quicker, the great news is you can get quicker with the 2-liter EcoBoost engine with 250 horsepower. That does 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds with the all-wheel drive. But just like before with the Escape, you're getting a nice cruising potential. Suspension rides smooth without being too soft or too bouncy. And I think what's also helping with the ride quality is going to be those 65 series sidewall tires that we have on our 17-inch wheels. But, you know, if you're looking for that commuter kind of car to get around the city, or you, like I said, your son won't move out until he gets a car, this could be the perfect fit. I like the fact that it's got the 8-speed automatic. It does shift smoothly, and of course I do have it in sport mode, so it's nice that they also, you know, gave you some extra flexibility with the different drive modes. You have the ability to change the steering feel, the throttle sensitivity, and how the transmission and the engine behave with one another. But I'm curious to see what you think about the price and what you're getting in this vehicle. Now, going down the road, no road noise, just a little hint of wind noise. But other than that, very, very smooth. Very comfortable in here. And the fact that everything is soft touch, there's no hard plastic in here, at least up front, whatsoever. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. We're gonna get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. Guys, it's been a wild and wacky day here at Walker Ford. Definitely gotta thank Frank Walker, Western Walker, Tracy, Mark, the whole team getting us access to this refresh, updated, changed up 2023 Ford Escape. Let me know what you think. Has Ford done enough outside and definitely on the inside to make this a better contender against the tried and true RAV4 and the CX-5? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. Of course, we need to give it to the man who's lifting the camera, doing the work. We got to thank Stephen Flood Photography in that comment section. Show him some love, because guess what? He loves cars and he definitely loves cameras. I'm trying to figure out which one he loves more. But let him know in the comment section that you love him. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.